Hey YouTube, Diesel Dan Peters here. Um, Gonna keep this kind of short and sweet with this thing. I just installed a battery that I had laying around over here. It's from June of 2021. I think it's a Duracell battery. So now we're set on the battery status. We have a brand new solenoid. Tried replacing the entire injection pump, and that failed. It actually didn't work at all. Like the generator was just smoking out the whole yard. It was running like crap. I have not tested it yet, so hoping everything works. Sounds pretty good. Fuel's already on, so it should just too easy. One more time. Can't ask for anything better than that, YouTube. So, $250 generator, $8 solenoid for the fuel injection pump, and even though I ordered a new battery for this, I'm not going to throw it on anymore. I'm actually going to use that battery on my Cub Cadet UTV, and I think that's about it. I mean, this thing didn't really need much from the get-go. It was already producing power, so this is good to go. I have another generator though that I think all of you are going to like to see, but before we dive into that, I should probably do an oil change on this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit outside, and I guess I'll record a little oil change video as well. I'm going to let it run for a while. You guys don't need to see the whole process of me letting it run for 10-15 minutes and then draining the oil. But I'll do the draining the oil part just so we could see the status on how well this engine was or wasn't taken care of. Alright YouTube, so this part is pretty easy. I have it on slight angle right now, just to make draining it a little bit easier. Alright. I'm just hoping it doesn't get everywhere, but I guess we're going to find out. Let's take a look. Oh, the oil's dirty, but I don't see any material in it, which is good. There we go. Oh, going a little too fast. That's what I'm saying. Like, the designs that they do, they don't always have the customer. And look at that. Just we're just gonna go with the slow drain, so it's not dripping all over the floor. The oil looks pretty good. Looks about what I would have expected, at least. I always run 15W40 through everything I have for Rotella. I think it's the non-synthetic, if I'm correct. Again, I kind of have this at a little bit of an angle. And I have this rag here so that as it drains, it doesn't roll back and get all over the floor, essentially. And if you change the oil on these, I bet you they would last just about as long as a Yanmar. But that's the problem, maintenance. A lot of people don't keep up with it. Even this, I mean, the oil is black, so I can tell it's been used, which is good, which means it hasn't sat for too long. I'm actually gonna grab another wipe here, because I want to see if this is gonna continue to leak. Should be pretty good. I don't remember if those have a little rubber bushing, but I don't believe they do. Again, it's also been a while since I've messed with any of these. I've always loved these little diesel engines though. Since I was a kid, I remember when these first came around, and I was actually going to buy one of these 10-horse diesel engines, but the Chinese ones at the time, even at that time, which would have been about 15 years ago, well, 12, 15 years ago, they were going for astronomical prices. I think the cheapest one I saw was $900, either $800 or $900. You know, you had your typical Kohler and all of those, but yeah. I figured I'd get this all ready to go. We have a nor'easter coming in, so it's perfect timing. I'm actually going to see if I have a new gasket for this. Stand by, YouTube. We're going to let it drain. I'm not going to bore you all with just oil change like this. I'll show you all when I am done topping it off with oil and stuff like that. Alright, YouTube, so it's basically down to the bottom. What we're going to do is pop this off here. Which sucks because I used to have a whole bunch of these just lying around everywhere. Lying around. These things lied to me. This is where your actual oil filter is. And a lot of people don't take these off just to clean them. But it's a pretty easy task to do. So you just kind of spin it until it starts to slowly pop. I have room here. Oh, right here. Alright. You're just gonna wiggle it. Oh yeah, there we go. That's the last of the oil. And we're gonna take a look. Now there are some particles on here, but luckily this is just a metal mesh, right? So you wipe off most of them, just as so. And you check inside, you see if it's like really bad, then obviously you're probably going to want to change it because the oil runs through here. Again, just give it a wipe, get all the crud off. For obvious reasons, you want this to be able to flow as easily as possible. If I had brake clean, I'd probably spray it down with brake clean as well, or just replace it. If I had a brand new one of these little so-called oil filters, it's kind of like an oil screen, if anything. But they do their job, and they do their job very well. We're gonna go like this. See if there's any crud that comes out of it. But no, that looks pretty good. I hope you can all see it. You could see right through it. There really wasn't much on there. So we're gonna just set that to the side. We're gonna clean everything obviously before we put it back on. But the next step that I always do, now you don't have to do this, but I take some of the oil and I just run it right through, just like so. Yep. And if you want it to run through oil filter, cap that, and we should start to see it flow little by little. I'm going to put a little more in. Especially if you don't know how long it's been since any of this has been done. You're going to want to fill it up and just drain all the crud that's in it. Because, you know, diesels run, what's a good way to put it? They're very efficient, but they create a lot of soot in the engine. Alright, see, now we're starting to get it flowing through the oil filter housing, and that's what I want to see, because I want to see clear fluid by the end of this. There we go. Now we got a nice little stream, and by the end, the goal is to see some nice clear fluid flowing through it. It's still pretty black. Alright, and I'm not going to bore you all with letting this fluid run out as it is, but I will come back once this is looking clearer. So stand by, YouTube, for the next part, I guess. Alright, YouTube, so at this point you can see that clear liquid, a little bit of black still, but this isn't the last oil change this thing is getting under my ownership. I'm gonna clean it out again as much as you can, at least. Yep. They definitely designed these to be very simple, which is nice. I like simple. I like reliable. But I mostly like simple. Which is why I still own a 7.3. And why I'll probably have it till the day I die. So, here we go. Now watch, if you're using a rag like this, or any sort of rag, just make sure that none of the particles from the rag get caught up in it. We're gonna go and pop this back on, just like so. Now, sometimes they pop on easily. This one's being a little bit of a pain. I'm sure that the gasket has swelled up a little. Let's see if I can slowly get it on. There we go. And with all these bolts, don't over torque them. Just tight enough where you feel comfortable with it, and that's it. And we're looking pretty good even on this side. Again, I like to just stick the rag in there, get as much of the black crud out as you can. You're never going to get everything out, but get as much of it as you can out. Now I'm going to pop this back on. There we go. And we're going to tighten this down. That looks plenty tight. Nice. I guess the next step, let's start adding oil. Now keep track of some of how much you're putting in so you don't overfill it for obvious reasons. Let's see, where is she at? a little below the 3-quart line. So I'm assuming this is going to take at least 1.5 quarts. And you just feed it nice and slowly. Being careful not to make a mess here as well. I like just tilting these funnels. And keep in mind, like the way I have it set up right now, it's at a little bit of an angle. So we're going to let that drain in. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, we still got a little ways. These 10-horse diesel engines hold a decent amount of oil. She's still taking it, so we're going to keep delivering. Here we go. Don't actually remember how much it holds. So like I said, we're just going to keep going with it nice and slowly. So we are starting to get there. Pop this in here. We are going to squeeze this out. I'm a little beat myself, so probably going to be moving a little bit slower right now, YouTube. Just working on the old Cub Cadet all day. Any of you are subscribers, you probably know what that is and how I got it. If not, that's cool too. Feel free to subscribe. Shameless plug. So this is actually right where it sits. That is pretty level, I think. Yep, that's nice and level right there. So clean up your little oil mess if you made any. With these, unfortunately, it's just hard to avoid making any sort of a mess. So we're gonna keep adding some more oil. That might be it right there. Let's see. There's a drain down too. This is perfect timing because we got the nor'easter coming in. I can feel the rain kind of sprinkling in over here. Let's see where we're at for oil. Right at the full line. Nice. Check it one more time. Remember, you have to screw it all the way in. Yep, right at the full line. Nothing more, nothing less. Just making sure the other side is nice and tight. And here we go. First startup. And commence. Alright YouTube, that's it. For this engine, Diesel Dan Peters is signing out. We are somewhat ready for the storm. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to get a hookup to the house. So if we do lose power, we're running extension cords outside, but that's fine. It is what it is. This generator should be pretty set anyway, so just gotta pop it like that. We'll clean some of this oil up again. A little bit more of it. I like keeping old dirty rags over here. That way I can just always clean up. I'm sure the oil went all over at the bottom. That's good. I don't really mind when I spill oil all over a machine because at the end of the day it's just kind of keeping it from rusting up. But there we go. Easy as that. On to the next one. That's it, YouTube. For this one at least. Diesel Dan Peters signing out for now. Everyone stay safe.